ABC have done it. They've made it to the top 3 after only coming 4th in the European scene throughout the spring season. It's been absolutely fantastic for them. What a run from Alec and the boys. But now they have to meet the top dog from Europe, the #1 seed coming into it, Method Black. This roster, we all know them. They stuck together since last year. 3rd at BlizzCon. Such a powerhouse roster, you know, Swapsy, 2-time BlizzCon winner, Raikou, Waz, these guys have been playing together forever, Chaz, who was thought to be the best healer to suit this roster, going up against ABC. Do you believe?
Do I believe? I mean, ABC, they've been doing a pretty good job in this tournament so far. Like I kind of said, if you had asked me a couple weeks ago if these two teams met in this tournament, who would win, I would say Method Black every single day of the week, just based off of the Spring Cup results. But ABC, they've been putting in some work. I believe in the ABC magic. They're just, it seems like they're on point with their strategies, with their communications, with their picks, and they've just been doing a really good job impressing me.
Yeah, they really have. And I mean, we all did predictions, you know, on our streams at home before we came to the tournament. And I don't think anyone really had changed my mind or ABC sitting in that, you know, 3rd, 4th spot. We had other teams, you know, Wildcard Gaming, the boys. So already an incredible run. And they've just been getting better and better as the tournament's gone on, Zico.
Yeah, ABC really surprised everyone here, and this is the first LAN tournament that we see from ABC as this squad that won BlizzCon, you know, minus Jamie. So it's really, really nice to see they're coming back to LAN, and again, they are performing. You know, last time we saw them, they came 2nd in the European regional tournament, and that was 1 game away from winning that. And then, of course, they played in BlizzCon, they won there, and now they are in the top 3 here at Spring Finals, having Asgaroth back on that roster. So ABC's been looking really good. But another interesting little nugget of information is that if Method Black were to lose right here, this would be their worst placing in the entire last year.
Yeah, that's actually true, right? Because they've always come top 2 in the cups.
Every single cup, they have either won or came 2nd against Wildcard Gaming. So this would be their worst placing. And to take that one step further, Method Black, the worst that they have placed since the cups in Legion has been 3rd. And that's counting BlizzCon, and that's counting Spring Finals last year and Summer Finals last year.
Yeah, I mean, this roster is just incredible. That's also counting the Spring Finals where Raikou wasn't even there last year. So Method Black, you know, these guys are consistent performers. They really want to make that final stride to take the ultimate accolade, right? Like, accolade rather, the BlizzCon title. They didn't quite manage it last year, of course, beaten down 3-0 in the lower finals by Peekaboo and his team. Now they're back once again, same roster, same goal, same dream, if you will. And C9 has been the thing standing between them. But if they want to get that rematch, they will have to go through ABC here in the lower bracket. No second chances anymore. We're in lower. There's no more upper bracket advantage or anything like that. But based on the fact, you know, they've been beating ABC online, Sid, what composition would you like to see from Method Black leading out? Do you think it's changed now that we're in the LAN environment? Or do you think some of the comps they've worked with online will work?
I mean, their Demon Hunter Death Knight has been so great into ABC throughout the cup play that it would be surprising to not see it. The only thing that maybe has changed their mood is the fact that Cloud9's success with Mage Warlock. Perhaps they just take that and practice it here against ABC in preparation for a rematch and maybe a mirror with Cloud9 later in the day. Those are the 2 compositions that I anticipate from them. Whereas ABC, it's tough to call. I mean, their Rogue Mages look solid throughout the day. Their Mage and their Elemental has also looked solid. Those are kind of the 2 top contenders for me. And then the Demon Hunter Death Knights and the Mage Warlock Druid would be the top 2 compositions in my mind for Method Black to select in game number 1.
Yeah, it is important to note, of course, that Alec, during an interview earlier, said, you know, the hardest is out the way. The Cloud9 0-3, which did happen, you know, they got completely outclassed, honestly, in that series, was that Mage Lock Druid composition. Do you think Method Black try bring it out here, then?
They could. They could try to take a page from Cloud9. We know this is a composition that they have practiced quite a bit. Now, for ABC, I don't think that's that bad of a scenario, because if ABC is going to predict Method Black locking in the Demon Hunter Death Knight Restoration Druid, they might just blind lock the Frost Mage Elemental Shaman Resto Druid, and I think that is actually a pretty decent matchup into Mage Lock Druid, so they might unexpectedly get a blind pick advantage based off what Method Black does.
It's going to be interesting to see. Of course, this is a matchup we've seen a number of times, but looking at the bigger picture, right, like at one point today, we had 1 North American team in the tournament and all 4 European teams. Now we're at a point where that 1 North American team has just been slapping Europe silly. in the grand final already, are waiting to see who they will be playing against here. The winner of this series, of course, Method Black versus ABC. And I mean, if you're Cloud9, who do you even want to win? You've already beaten both these teams, Zico. Is there like any sort of like thing you would be looking for in this series as, you know, the top dog right now?
Well, I mean, I think they had an easier time playing against ABC, but at the same time, that was also ABC's first game. They've just been getting better and better and better at this LAN, and they looked really hot in the last series especially, so I don't really know who you want to face. I think if I was Cloud9 though, I would probably prefer going up against ABC over Method Black, just because they have so many new, so many different compositions at their disposal with things like the Rogue, Ellie, and Resto Shaman. But on the flip side, ABC can play that same thing. They have Jamie waiting in the wings. He's a main Ellie Shaman. They have Nixie, main Rogue. So, you know, all of these teams, as the tournament evolves, they get to kind of take strategies from each other. And the first team that even ran the Rogue Ellie was ABC. So, on one end, you got to feel confident because you've beaten both of these teams if you're Cloud9, but on the other end, these teams also have picked up lessons from those losses, so it's going to be really interesting to see who actually goes up against them later on today.
Yeah, Elemental is a European flavor, but guess what? Cloud9 seemingly likes the taste. Now we'll find out who will be the final dessert for them in the grand final. ABC against Method Black. 70% of you think Method Black have the edge. There's only one way to find out.
All right, we've got the 2017 BlizzCon champions reunited. ABC, that's Asgaroth, that's Alec, and that's Nixie. Method Black, they're looking to take a BlizzCon championship for themselves this year. If they can win this series in the next, they'll have a spot at the World Finals later this year. That is Chaz, Raikou, and Swapsy on your screen, playing that Mage, Warlock, Restoration, Druid. And if ABC can overcome Method Black with this composition, potentially this is a solid answer for Cloud9. This is Nagrand Arena, a blind pick, so neither team knew it was coming their way, and I was anticipating these compositions or the other set, which is the Ellie Mage and the Demon Hunter Death Knight, so I'm not surprised by this pick, but I'm not entirely sold that Method Black's composition is guaranteed victory.
I definitely don't think it is guaranteed victory. I think ABC, with the way they've been playing Rogue Mage Druid, definitely have a shot in this matchup. They just need to make sure they are shutting down Swapsy as much as possible. Raikou has been having good control in the matchup so far, looking for Frostbolt damage, trying to pressure down Alec, trying to swat him away. Chaz gets the re-stealth, moves in, rake stun on Alec, bash on Asgaroth. Right now, Method Black's looking to get aggressive, but Nixie with the smoke bomb with the kidney shot completely shuts down Swapsy.
Big hits here for ABC. Although Asgaroth is in crowd control, it's actually Swapsy who has taken some hits. No crowd control onto Chaz, however, so they can't capitalize and push forward for a kill with this Vendetta early on from Nixie. Now that the Vendetta threat is out of the way, it's up to Alec. He's got to be the one, the playmaker with that Icy Vein shortly. When is he going to decide to activate it is now the question. Looking for crowd control, but not finding it. Raikou being locked out for some time in this position as Swapsy continues to be hammered down by Nixie. Asgaroth gets stunned by Chaz. Chaz sets up crowd control for the team. 3-on-2 here with Alec and Nixie left open. Chaos Bolt's flying in, but not enough damage really to push Nixie over the edge just yet.
Yeah, Raikou still trying to find some pressure onto Nixie. He's been holding on to that Cloak of Shadows, a very crucial defensive cooldown. Swapsy once again into the kidney shot. It's been good denial from ABC so far in this matchup. Asgaroth is actually playing the Balance Affinity, so he's going to be able to sit in that Moonkin form and avoid Polymorph incoming from Raikou. The only way Raikou's really going to get too much crowd control is if Chaz moves in, assists him with a bash or a rake stun. That way Raikou can get a Ring of Frost out of that and start getting some control rolling onto Asgaroth in this matchup. But both teams are looking very stable so far.
Yeah, both teams looking solid in the lower bracket. This is an elimination match between the last two European teams of the tournament, that of ABC and Method Black. It's going to be a best of 5. Winner of this gets a rematch, guaranteed second place, but it is that coveted first place position that all these teams are competing for, as it is a guaranteed slot to the Arena World Championship World Finals at BlizzCon later this year, and $50,000. Alec forced into an ice block early on as a result of Swapsy's crowd control. Cooldown lead for Method Black, but mana in favor of ABC. Need to stabilize here through the burst of Raikou. Alec really feeling it, but has managed to recover now. Chaz and Asgaroth going at each other in the back line. Chaz caught in a bash. Where's the follow-up? Looks like they're swapping. Kidney shot out of the bash. How much damage do they have? Is it enough to find a kill? Doesn't look like it. Chaz stabilizes.
Yeah, nice Swift Man. I believe that was a Health Stone as well, and that's one of the benefits of having a Warlock on your team is you do get that Health Stone, which can help you survive a very sticky situation. Chaz, of course, going to be using that. Now Asgrath into a Polymorph, as done by Raikou, using his Icy Veins once again. Nixie could be in some trouble. Gladiator Safeguard procs, as well as the Iron Bark from Asgrath. They're trying to get some pressure on Swapsy, but they just have not found the damage. Raikou's been getting out a lot of control. There just hasn't been too much crowd control on Chaz so far in this matchup. And things are actually looking pretty good for Method Black.
Asgrath in crowd control. Alec isolated by Method Black. It's looking clean here in game number 1. Alec manages to narrowly escape with a blink to the pillar. Next to Asgrath. Innervate activated. No dispel on that, so Asgrath starts to develop a significant mana lead. Method Black are just pressing pause. Polymorphing Alec, trying to figure out what's their next game plan. Looks like they want to go after Nixie, having realized his Cloak of Shadows is on cooldown for another minute and 22 seconds, roughly. He is more vulnerable than Alec. Now, Iron Bark has been placed by Asgrath, realizing that vulnerability, so Nixie will stabilize. Method Black may look to switch to an alternate target, choosing to polymorph Nixie, slow down, wait for the Iron Bark to fade. Method Black are always maximizing their damage, not wasting a single point into damage reduction, and overall looking good with this Mage Warlock. If they do advance to face Cloud9, it will be a treat to watch them go head-to-head with the same composition.
Look at mana for both these Druids. Chaz went to go for a re-stealth, went to go for a drink, but Nixie was watching, managed to land a distract. Now Chaz once again sitting down a stealth. This is going to be a disaster for ABC. With his positioning right now, Chaz just has a massive advantage. He actually recovers a ton of his mana. This is not good for ABC. Asgrath has to do the same at some point of the game, or Method Black will eventually have that mana lead, which could secure them the game.
All right, Nixie, what are you going to do? Iron Bar from Asgrath, but he's still bashed. Any Chaos Bolts here, maybe find a kill. Swapsy's not even going for it. Maybe he's out of Soul Shards. Unfortunate timing there for Method Black, but Dampening has entered. Method Black now have the mana lead. They have the cooldown lead, and if they can win the blind pick, then they will have the swing match advantage. Method Black continue advancing forward. Momentum even in their favor now, as well as they look to push for the second ice block. Do they have enough damage to find it? Chaz jumps in to add into the mix, and with Chaz's extra damage, they're just going to kill him. Big mistakes by Alec in game 1, and Method Black have the swing match advantage.
Yep, Method Black able to pull through there. An unfortunate incident there for Alec. I think the Maldic must have hit at the same time as a bite or something, but how do you feel like the game was going, Zico, overall, if Alec obviously had ice blocked at the end there?
Honestly, it looked like the game was completely in Method Black's favor. They had the mana advantage, they had the cooldown lead as well, and at that point, it just looked like the matchup that ABC wanted was not the one that they got, because Method Black, they were... I mean, look at Chaz's mana. He's just finished a big drink. He jumps in, gets the bash, gets the Cyclone, gets counterspelled actually on the Cyclone, which of course allows his 2 wizards to keep casting. And Asgrath, he's already on like 30% or so mana, looking to get a drink. Chaos Bolts are going to be flying in on Alec. And at this point, the damage is so high that Alec needs to trade an Ice Block just for Asgrath to even out his mana with Chaz. So instead, they're going to get the Rake Stun from Chaz, realizing the situation, and of course, big damage coming in, and Alec, he would have had to use his second Ice Block there, so it's not really an ideal situation to be in. Even if he uses it there, you're still now without an Ice Block for the next 4 minutes as Dampening is starting to ramp up.
I think he might have actually been locked out there too.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I didn't see at the end there if he got locked out, but either way, like, not an ideal situation for Method Black at that moment in time. We're going to see if Jillian has anything else for us. She's down on the floor.
Hey guys, I can really feel the tension here on this stage. Nobody wants to go home yet. I even saw Method Black outside across the parking lot discussing strategies because they really didn't want ABC or anyone else to overhear them. I also caught up with Cloud9 backstage to hear what they thought about this matchup, and they said that Method Black is really scared of a mirror from this team. They really don't want to have to mirror ABC, but they still think that these guys are going to come out on top. So let's see if that prediction is correct. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jillian. Once again, always nice to, get the live reactions from the teams in these situations. It is high stress here. You can feel it in the arena, especially if you're standing right there next to where these guys are competing. It's elimination. I mean, even if you're ABC, you came in without the expectations, but you've come so far, you defeated the BlizzCon champions, Method Orange, defeated the boys, many people's favorites from North America, and now you find yourself up against Method Black. There's no easy round here, Sid.
I mean, there's no easy round even just starting from the beginning of the tournament. If we want to list all of the matchups, even from day one, competition here in this tournament is at its highest ever, really. You do not want to go anywhere. This is a treat. We're in the lower bracket finals between AWC, 2017 BlizzCon champions, Method Black. They're looking for a first BlizzCon win. Can they find it? They've come so close time and time again. They've had nothing but consistency, but they've just not been able to go all of the way. This will be their last opportunity to prove that they've got it, securing themselves a spot at the BlizzCon World Finals later this year, and they're looking good so far in game number 1.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we've said it a couple of times now, but it is important to emphasize that the replications of, or the ramifications rather, of who wins this goes beyond even, you know, Method Black or Cloud9. It's like, if Cloud9 wins, the boys are like, ooh, hello, I have, you know, second most points. I'm going to BlizzCon most likely. And same for, you know, Wildcard Gaming. If Method Black can pull it through, obviously they need to finish this series off against AWC. We've seen the Rogue Mage now. Do we really want to see this Elemental Mage composition coming in from AWC, ZK?
Well, not on a map like Dalaran Sewers. I think, oh, never mind. I do want to see how this matchup plays out, but at the same time, I feel like they're not really utilizing the Dalaran Sewers pick that much. We know that AWC can play Rogue Ellie. I would have rather seen the Rogue Elemental just because it is a small map, and we know that Method Black, when they played that composition on this same exact map, it looked really good for them. Now, I'm not sure about Asgraf's Resto Shaman, but even with the Resto Druid, I feel like AWC could have abused this map a little bit better, or at least saved the pick and maybe went for a little bit bigger map.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they chose Dalaran Sewers. Any thoughts why they might have done that, Elliot?
I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you. I feel like maybe the small boxes, they feel like they could avoid Swapsy's damage a little bit more with the Thunderstorm, knock him into unideal situations. Like if he's up on the platform, they could Thunderstorm him off onto the side of the map, and it could be difficult for him to get back up, especially if he's not playing that Demonic Circle. So maybe just trying to abuse the Destruction Warlock, that's all I can really think of. But one thing's for sure, this is a matchup I wanted to see. I thought that this composition could be the answer to Magelock Druid, and I think we're going to finally see how it plays out, because I'm not 100% sure, but in my brain, I thought that it could be good.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if it's good. And one other thing to note here is Method Black, by playing Magelock Druid, one of the advantages they give themselves is that they get to see what a smart guy like Alec will throw at Magelock Druid. Because if Alec has something that he's had up his sleeve the whole time, or that he's thought about since his series against Cloud9, and maybe it is this Mage or this Mage Elemental, then Method Black could be like, okay, maybe we should try that when we get to the Grand Finals.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if Method Black can pull this off, if they can get a clean sweep 3-0 against AWC, we're going to be seeing Magelock Druid mirrors in the Grand Final. I almost guarantee it.
Yeah, but we'll have to see. We're going into Dalaran Sewers.
The map could also be a takeaway from Method Black's DK, DH, Resto Druid. I mean, let's not forget, these guys have a lot of melee cleaves at their disposal. It's going to be interesting to see how the matchup plays out.
Yeah, for the rest of the series, we may actually see both teams switch compositions moving forward. It's all dependent on AWC. Can the Mage Elemental defeat what is looking to be a seemingly impossible composition to beat, Mage Warlock? Method Black had phenomenal performance in game number 1, but can they keep it up against AWC, and then even further keep it up against Cloud9?
No, I mean, we're definitely going to have to wait and see. Chaz with the Innervate looking to get it on top of things with his mana. Raikou gets topped off. For ABC, it's going to be all about control on Swapsy. Not sure who they're going to be going after in this matchup. Potentially Raikou, just wanting to limit his damage. He could get caught in a big Earthshock crit, like we saw Wealthy Man really have to deal with. That can happen at any moment when you're dealing with a good Elemental Shaman like Jamie. I think as the game progresses, if we do move forward into dampening, that's when Swapsy is going to be a vulnerability for his team. But at this point, it's too difficult to take down a Destruction Warlock with the amount of self-healing that they have.
Raikou pushing forward in defiance despite that Lightning Lasso pressure. Method Black repositioning Chaz in the back line. Looking like he wants to drink, even though he's almost at 100% mana anyway. Maybe it's almost a bait, and it doesn't look like AWC are going to fall for that. They're not going to be running across the battlefield to stop a drink at what is already effectively a full mana restoration Druid. Both teams playing it out to stall at the moment. Jamie tossing out some damage onto both Raikou and now Swapsy, trying to spread damage on 2 targets so that Chaz will run out of mana more rapidly. Chaz moves forward to set up a stun for his team. Ursul's Vortex holds Jamie in midfield. He thunderstorms Swapsy out of line of sight. narrowly ducking around the corner to avoid those Gladiators Maledicts committed by Method Black. And now that those Gladiators Maledicts are on cooldown, I would like to see see ABC get more aggressive. Although their entire team is under pressure, they don't have anything going for them at the moment.
Yeah, right now, ABC, things are not looking good. You just have Swapsy in their face, getting cast off, getting crowd control, getting damaged. Maybe they have to start going after Swapsy, even though he's a difficult target to take down. They need to be limiting the amount of crowd control and damage he is able to put out. If we look at mana, Chaz sitting at around 75%, 80% right now. Asgrath, I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to wait and see until he gets out of cat form, but it looks like there is a slight mana lead for Method Black, even though pressure seems in favor, or a slight mana lead for ABC, even though pressure seems in favor of Method Black.
All right, mana more and more developing a lead for Method Black. I'm not sure if this Elemental Frost Mage is really the answer to this composition. We did see victory found with the double Shaman Rogue on the small maps. ABC could potentially play that, but we haven't seen Asgarath really play anything other than his Druid throughout the tournament and the spring season so far. So maybe it's just not prepared and ready for this event here today, which is unfortunate because it could have been effective. Pressure on both Alec and Swapsy at this moment in time. Both Chaz and Asgarath reluctant to commit their Iron Barks just yet. Chaz gets away with it, and so does Asgarath, but Chaz gets away with it with more mana, and as that mana lead starts to grow, Method Black's confidence grows with it.
I mean, Method Black, they have to be feeling good in this situation. Swapsy is dipping a little bit low. He's going to be throwing out a gateway and using it to escape danger. Wants to get off those boxes as ABC is finally starting to generate some pressure. Raikou now throwing out some polymorphs, trying to control up the game just a little bit. Asgrath into a bash. Chaz, is there any follow-up crowd control? You can see him sort of ripping in, trying to build up some combo points so he can assist his team at a later date. See exactly how it plays out.
All right, let's see how it plays out as we get closer to dampening. Jamie denied on the Lightning Lasso by Raikou. Good teamwork to save his friend Swapsy. Moving forward, I'm curious to see how much pressure Jamie can get out, because the Earth Shock really has been the only thing we've seen to pressure these mages. Jamie, the member of the team that has that ability in his arsenal, see what he can get done. Lining up a Stormkeeper, looks like a swap. They're going to be going after Chaz, the healer of Method Black. He just walks it off with a Barkskin, able to easily deny that swap and any pressure in the favor of ABC. We do see Polymorph spanned up by Alec, looking to control Swapsy, slow down the game and stall, but I'm not sure if stalling is going to be beneficial for ABC.
Actually, I was just taking a little look at the build. Obviously, I play a lot of Resto Druid, and it's interesting. Asgarath is playing the Freedom Shroom against the Mage Lock Druid, so his team's able to be more mobile and actually chase them around. Chaz is running that build we talked about earlier, the full haste versatility of the Master Shapeshifter. So as Dampening starts to build up, we can expect to see some Cubsy-like plays, the all-aggression coming out from Chaz later in this game.
Yeah, that could also be why Asgarath is running out of mana faster, as the Freedom Shroom is the Efflorescence ability, the most expensive heal for the Druid. So if Asgarath is placing it, you see that green circle with a mushroom in the middle of it. If he's placing that a lot and frequently, it's going to tap his mana more rapidly. So while it does give mobility, it is a mana cost, and potentially ABC should hold out on utilizing it until deeper into dampening.
Yeah, I mean, definitely interesting to see the difference between the two builds. Chaz getting caught into a bash. Double Mortal Coil coming in from Swapsy. And one thing we haven't seen from Method Black that we saw from Cloud9 is sort of an all-in attempt with the bash, with the Infernal Sun, with the Mortal Coil. All damage, guns ablaze. Method Black has yet to pull that off, and I feel like they could do that to Asgrath. They can get crowd control onto Jamie, a polymorph on Alec. They could go all in and easily take down Asgrath with all their cooldowns.
All right, let's see if they can. That is definitely an option for them. We've seen Restoration Druids get annihilated in swaps from this Mage Warlock composition. Swapsy, he's got Dark Soul activated, that purple icon that's glowing, his health bar on fire. That does indicate that his damage is maximized, and if he's able to cast Chaos Bolt during this period of time, there's going to be a lot of trouble. Jamie, realizing this, is trying to crowd control Swapsy, which prevents him from casting damage, and is able to escape a situation that would have otherwise cost very big cooldowns to stay alive. So ABC, with good awareness there, denying the Dark Soul of Swapsy.
Yep. See what happens. Raikou in a little bit of a defensive position right now. Chaz in full retreat. Mana still in favor of Method Black. Jamie gets caught into a Mortal Coil. Swapsy looking for a fear, manages to find it. Alec already out of line of sight. Well, all 6 of these players are very cautious in this matchup. They don't want to take unnecessary damage, but there's a fine line because you want to be doing damage yourself. You can't be just avoiding damage the whole game. You have to make yourself a little bit vulnerable if you want to try to pressure down the enemy team.
Jamie at half. Asgarath's mana not looking too good here. How are ABC going to pull it off? Their Rogue Mage Druid, it didn't work. If their Mage Elemental Shaman Druid doesn't work, these are their two best compositions. Perhaps you see a Windwalker Mage. That's the only other composition that I feel they've maximized and prepared for the tournament today. So ABC, they're in a tough position. It's a best of 5 and they face elimination. They'll go home in 3rd place. No opportunity at that BlizzCon World Finals if they can't pull it off, but Alec has been playing out of his mind throughout the day, so perhaps the mastermind can find a plan, find a way to make it out and find victory against Method Black here in the lower bracket final.
Yeah, somehow, some way, ABC could surprise us all and take down Method Black, but so far, Method Black up in the first game. And Dalaran Sewers, this is the compositional pick as well as the map pick for ABC. There's going to be an opportunity for them to bounce back in the series. This would be it. Raikou caught in midfield. One Maledict's going to land a second. Raikou actually one of the only mages in the tournament who's not playing Night Elf. So I think that's an interesting decision. Wealthy Man, I believe, as well. A lot of these players are opting to play Night Elf for that Shadow Meld Racial, as it is an effective counter to the Maledict Trinket. If Maledict Trinket is used on you, you can use that Night Elf Racial to sort of slow it down, immune the effect, and you get a lot of value out of it. Definitely an important racial to have, being the Shadow Meld with that new PvP Trinket coming into play with Battle for Azeroth Season 2. And you can check all of the gear using the app attached to the stream if you want to inspect them and figure out what talents the players are running, what gear they're running, so you too can use the best options that the best players use in World of Warcraft. That is at your disposal. Chaz being swapped to here by Jamie. Big damage supported as well, but at the same time, Raikou is owning Alec. He's pinned down. He can't support. It's Jamie versus Chaz. It's Raikou and Swapsy versus Alec and Asgarath. A 1-on-1 and a 2-on-2 as these teams collide deep into dampening. Yeah, 24% dampening at this point. Sparks are going to fly. Ironbark is committed over onto Raikou. He's still taking decent burst damage. He needs to be careful. Big burst from Jamie. That's what I'm talking about. This Elemental Shaman burst damage is insane. Raikou barely holding on. A lot of these mages are pulling a page from me. Dying without Ice Block. They need to be careful. That was a close call for Raikou. Moving forward out of the Ice Block, he's still in a little bit of trouble. And I really feel like that's one of the reasons why this comp is strong, is you just have such unexpected damage. The Purge from the Mage, as well as the Elemental Shaman, can just really surprise these enemy Mage Druids. We'll have to see if it pays off for them. Still, decent mana lead here for Chaz. Almost moving forward to 30% dampening. Now Alec in a little bit of trouble as all 3 members of Method Black push in. I mean, look at the mana. It's not looking good on either side, but ABC have the Ice Block lead with 2 in their pocket, whereas Raikou only has 1, so they do have the advantage in terms of cooldowns. Chaz gets swapped to ABC, continuing to mix it up deeper into dampening, trying to make Chaz make a mistake. If they could potentially commit his Ironbark to him and then switch targets to Raikou and get the second Ice Block, they're almost certainly guaranteed victory if they can achieve this, but they're not finding that opportunity. Chaz repositions, avoids any further attack. Asgarath jumping back, looking to try and avoid crowd control. Swapsy casting Chaos Bolts onto Jamie. He repositions at the box. Alex line deciding at the ramp, not wanting to stack up for a triple Frozen Orb or potentially a triple Infernal Stun. So Swapsy's waiting. He's got that cooldown, and that's going to ramp his damage up heavily if he can find an opportunity. Infernals have landed. Swapsy wants to go, go, go. Gets denied on 1 Chaos Bolt, and for the next couple of seconds, it's all about stopping Swapsy. Yeah, Asgarath completely tapped on mana. He gets interrupted. Alex forced into an Ice Block, has the Cold Snap, activates that immediately to get that cooldown rolling, but I think it's unlikely it comes back up. Both of these mages, 1 Ice Block left. What is going to happen? You can see Swapsy gets knocked away by that Thunderstorm. Jamie still putting the pressure up, and this is where Swapsy becomes a vulnerability for his team. If Alec and Jamie can keep up the pressure, Swapsy could easily fall. He's gotten to the Lightning Lasso. He's in midfield. Asgarath barely holding on for his team. Method Black has good spread pressure right now, but Swapsy just such a big vulnerability. He's trying to slowly walk in with those Frost Mage snares, get some pressure rolling, lands the Shadow Fear, looking for a Chaos Bolt. Alec gets out of line of sight to avoid that damage, but Raikou just with so much pressure is cleaving down all 3 members of ABC. Alec gets locked out. Another Ice Block forced out. things are falling apart here for ABC.
Raikou at the same moment in time is getting destroyed by Jamie, but it's still momentum in favor of Method Black. There's pressure across the board, and Asgrath has absolutely no mana and absolutely no cooldowns left to deal with it. Method Black, all they have to do is push forward and end this. They're going to be moving to match point if they can do so. Just a bit more damage. Alec barely holding on, blinking back to Asgrath's side. Jamie left out in center field. Swapsy moves in. He gets bashed up. One Chaos Bolt straight to the face. Where's the second? Eben Bolt. Still pressure on two players. No mana. Asgrath, how are you doing this in the face of 42% dampening, reducing that healing by 42%. Ray of Frost channeled out by Raikou. Chaos Bolt flies in and connects. Method Black move to match point here against ABC in the lower bracket final.
Yeah, Method Black looking good on this Mage Lock Druid. We're getting very close to what could potentially be Mage Lock Druid mirrors in the final. Cloud9, of course, already sitting there, and Method Black one game away. I was super happy to see as well Chaz really, I don't think he was doing this initially, but he's more and more playing aggressively, similar to what Cubsy was doing on Cloud9.
Yeah, I really think in the series between Wildcard Gaming and Cloud9, Cubsy was such a big factor, just completely disregarding healing. Anytime his teammates were over 80%, he would just charge in and do a whole bunch of damage. And I like to see Chaz also kind of just go super, super aggressive here. He's going to trinket out of the bash. He's going to do a little bit of damage. He's going to change his mind there, decide to top off Raikou so he doesn't get earth shocked for his entire HP bar, and then immediately back in cat form. You know, his mage is on 30% or so. He goes out, drops a Swiftman, drops a couple of hots, back into cat, doing the same thing as we saw from Cubsy, just trying to add as much damage as humanly possible. And this is the interesting thing about the matchup as well. I think the biggest advantage of having a Destruction Warlock is that when you use your cooldowns like the Infernos, like the Dark Soul, people just have to line of sight you. There's no way around it. If you stay in the middle, you will die. And every single time that you activate these cooldowns, you kind of force out the enemy to go away. That gives Chaz the opportunity to drink, and I think that's why we also saw the mana lead be so big in Method Black's favor. The Elishaman, he has that surprise effect burst where you can essentially just global someone, and like Ben said as well during the cast, Lock is kind of a liability later on because they're so immobile. If you catch them in the open, they can easily go down. But when you get to that point, you have such a big lead just because of those cooldowns there. I think, having seen the matchup now, I think Mage Lock just seems to be the king of wizards.
Yeah, Destruction Warlocks seem to be the king of wizards. I just feel like Destruction Warlocks, they always have sort of a positional advantage, like you said. Chaz is able to drink because Swapsy's just in midfield, gatekeeping. If anyone gets in line of sight, they're going to eat a Chaos Bolt, and that's a significant amount of damage. So when they have to run and hide on those Infernals, on those Chaos Bolts, it just gives a positional advantage to the Warlock team.
Anything you can do, I can do better. That's what Method Black's looking to prove to Cloud9. They've got one more game against ABC. If they can round it out, we will have that as our grand final. It's been an incredible spring finals, and we're at our final three teams here, the best three teams in Europe and North America. ABC, though, one game away from being eliminated from the competition in a very respectable position, but Method Black have their eyes on the grand prize. They want that rematch against Cloud9, and they want that shot at the $50,000 in BlizzCon spot, the first of the year. I'm Healing Stat. Joining us, we have, of course, Ben Ruki, Super Tees, and on the end in his beautiful white jacket, I must say, Zico, the man with the throw, or like the alternative to the throw now that we've seen throughout the day. Rest in peace. And I mean, talking of RIP, ABC are one game away from, you know, a similar ending.
Yep, ABC one game away from being RIP. It's going to be interesting to see what do they have in store for us. I heard you guys steal my joke
earlier.
Rich.
That was Rich.
Yeah, it was not us.
Don't lump us into the same group, okay?
He
Rich.
He gave me credit, so you know what? It's fine. I love Rich. We're going to see Hook Point and ABC. They're going to go with comfort here. I mean, you could argue that Rogue Ellie potentially could be stronger based off of what we have seen so far, at least. But I also think this is an interesting thing. You guys have to remember what Healing Stat said earlier today. Anything ABC throws at Method Black playing this composition is extra knowledge that they get. If ABC wins as Rogue Mage Druid using a particular strategy, all of a sudden, Method Black, well, we got Waz, we got Chaz, we got Raikou. We can go Rogue Mage Druid. We can copy this and use it ourselves. So anything that ABC comes up with is still something that Method Black can use should they win the series. Hook Point, going to be a great map as well for an Assassination Rogue. Probably gonna see Swapsy be the target of choice here for ABC, but I'm skeptical towards the compositional pick. I think, did we see ABC play this against Cloud9?
We saw it once against Cloud9 and in the first game here as well against Method Black. So it looks like we are going to be remaking the game anyways. But yeah, it's interesting for sure. The Rogue Mage Druid game on the ground in this series, I actually thought was not bad for ABC for a little while. I mean, you said it was, very one-sided, but I don't know. Maybe going deeper into dampening?
I mean, maybe, but again, they were behind on cooldowns, they were behind on mana, but it was on a big map. And the thing about Rogue Mage Druid as well is there's a lot of strategies that you can use. There is, a ton of the mage strategies, there's a ton of the warlock strategies. You can use the strategy that we saw ABC use against Change My Mind. Admittedly, they didn't play, the same composition as we see here, but the same principle can still stand where you kind of go on the druid and you just throw crowd control on the DPS and you try to get an advantage that way. So there's a lot of interesting strategies you can adapt, and I think that's the main thing we should look out for in this map. I don't think they're going to just do the same thing they did on Nagrand. We're probably going to see something new.
Yeah, I mean, I think something very obvious we don't talk about enough is Destruction Warlocks are very punishing. If you leave a Destruction Warlock alone, he will dismantle your team with Fears, with Chaos Bolts. It's basically a one-man army, so you're kind of forced to go on the Destruction Warlock. You have to shut him down with interrupts, with kidney shots, with kicks, with counter spells, but guess what? Then you have a free casting Frost Mage, a free casting Resto Druid to sort of dismantle your team, and it just seemed like in Game 1, ABC really struggled to find pressure because you can go after the Destruction Warlock, you can shut him down, but he's just such a durable target. You don't really get too much done.
Well, we followed them all the way from the start of the lower bracket. The first series of the tournament was a 0-3 to Cloud9, but ABC have been doing work throughout the spring finals. If you want to see them pull up a revival against Method Black, give them your energy. If you want to see Waz against Cloud9 in the grand finals, well, Hook Point could be the destination that sends us there.
Yep, here on Hook Point, and just like Captain Hook, ABC's clock might be up. 2-0 lead, match point. Method Black look to close it out for a rematch, and you can tell that they want it right now, just slapping around ABC.
Yeah, they have been doing work on ABC so far. ABC has really struggled to find pressure. They had a few moments with the Frost Mage Elemental Shaman, but it seems like that composition just relies on dampening. What ABC wants in this game is a small map where they can utilize that Rogue Mage Druid cross crowd control, try to get pressure onto Swapsy. Alec moves forward, looking for crowd control on Chaz, manages to find it, Ray of Frost, but it gets feared away immediately. Nicely done by Swapsy. Now with Chaz out of crowd control, he gets the restyle stun on Nixie. This is good counter aggression coming in from Method Black.
Very curious to see how this map plays out, as Restoration Druids usually need to drink quite often, but on Hook Point, it's probably the most difficult map to actually drink. So this game could end quickly between these two Titans. ABC have had a hard-fought battle in the lower bracket. I think their performance outdoes even their own expectations, as their practice maybe wasn't as much as they would have liked, and perhaps that's going to be a regret moving forward, having seen that they can make it so far, even on such limited practice. Of course, taking into consideration their synergy, the fact that these three players did win BlizzCon back into 2017, that is, of course, paying dividends to their potential. Chaz gets denied on the drink. Asgrath continues for further crowd control. Chaz dodges Hibernate, but cannot dodge Cyclone. Nixie, though, was left behind while Asgrath went for crowd control and fell a bit behind. Asgrath recovers, but at the cost of his mana, potentially the cost of big cooldowns, as crowd control is secured by Swapsy on Asgrath. Nixie dips lower and lower. Flurry Nova. Nice combo by Raikou, but Feint appears to be enough for Nixie to stay alive.
Yeah, and he still can rely on that Cloak of Shadows if he really needs it. Polymorph now coming in from Raikou, looking for some control. Big burst damage on Alec. What is Alec going to do? He's got both of his ice blocks. He got really low in game number 1. He ended up dying without using his ice block, so could be feeling a little bit scared in this matchup. Going to be retreating to the pillar. Raikou switching up the Polymorph onto Alec, and I like what Method Black is doing. They go after Nixie, punish him. Then once he's used some of his defensive cooldowns, once Asgrath has committed his Ironbark, then they go after Alec, where he doesn't really have any heal over time effects, and they can get burst on multiple targets. Right now, good cross crowd control chain from ABC. Cyclone on Chaz. Swapsy dipping a little bit low, but looks like Method Black will be able to recover. Interrupt on the Chaos Bolt. Nicely done by Nixie, and that's one of the strengths of that Assassination Rogue. So he can shut down Swapsy quite a bit in this matchup. We'll have to see if that will secure them the game.
Mana is close. Cooldowns are closer. These teams are evenly matched. It's still anyone's game. Smoke bomb gets dropped as ABC look to pull the trigger on potentially an early kill. Chaz gets stunned as he moved forward to support his teammate. Now crowd controlled by Cyclone. Swapsy is still at half. Iron Park will be fading shortly, and with it the added damage reduction. Alec times a huge hit right as it starts to fall. Polymorph is forced to be trinketed by Chaz. Even still, Swapsy being pressured. Chaz is struggling. Swapsy is floundering. Swapsy gets cycloned at low health. Potential for ABC to close this out momentarily if they can connect any crowd control into Chaz. The Cyclones are continuous. Where is it? Asgrath moves across center field. Jumps onto Chaz. And ABC, can you do it? Efflorescence on the ground of Swapsy is the only thing keeping him going with a full blind secured. Swapsy gets taken down and ABC stay alive in the tournament.
Look at that smug grin on Alec. I love to see it. The whole wave as well. It's like, oh, if we can't, no one can beat the Mage Lock Druid. It's like, well, maybe we could beat yours with the Rogue Mage Druid. Love to see that game. Excellent crowd control once again from ABC, Zico.
Yeah, beautifully done. You know, the low clones from Asgarath really is what sets this team up in a lot of these scenarios, and they force out, of course, Chaz's Trinket, and then they can capitalize on that later on with that full blind setup. And, you know, here again, we can see Raikou, nice crowd,
what a play.
Nice cross CC. Nixie as well, having tons and tons of damage from that smoke bomb play that they did earlier on. They forced out Chaz's Trinket here, and then, of course, the full blind is all you need. That low Cyclone there is so deadly from Asgarath, allowing them to essentially reset the diminishing returns on the healer, and that's going to allow them to get that bash into the full blind, and there's no way Swapsy survives this. Zero chance, actually. I mean, there's still potentially a Ring of Frost or a Sap out of that blind too. Easy pickings for ABC.
Yeah, a clean game, and I mean, it was a great spot by Nixie, the DR vanish into the sheep. It speaks to like the synergy of this team. I mean, coming into the tournament, by their own admission, they're like, well, you know, we haven't got to practice as much as other teams perhaps, but that means they've really hemmed in, you know, one or two compositions, the Mage Ellie, the Mage Rogue. They've been looking fantastic on them.
I mean, they have been looking good, but the problem for ABC now is they are down 0-2, or now 1-2, but now Method Black is in a position where it is their map pick as well as their comp pick, and we know that they have that Demon Hunter Death Knight, which is something we've seen a lot of the Rogue Mage teams struggle with. So I'm curious to see if Method Black sort of still relies on that Mage Lock Druid. What ABC is going to do? Are they going to lock in the Elemental Frost Mage in the blind pick? Do they go with the Rogue Mage? What do they think their best bet is?
This is a really interesting situation for Method Black, because the theory we had is that they're playing the Mage Lock Druid because they want information. They want to know what beats us playing this so we can throw that at Cloud9.
Do we really think, is that really our going theory?
I mean, I genuinely think there's some value in it. Like, I mean, I think they probably think the Mage Lock Druid wins because, you know, Cloud9 has been winning with the Mage Lock Druid. If they thought they had a counter to it, they would have played it against Cloud9. But on the flip side, would you just lock in the Demon Hunter DK to get ABC out the way if you think that's the best matchup, or would you give the Mage Lock Druid one more chance here, ZK?
I would lock in DHDK. If ABC blinds, the Rogue Mage Druid, I would go with the DHDK, grab the win, put yourselves in the grand finals, and then after that, just use the information that you already have and come to a good decision at that point in what you should be picking.
It's going to be really interesting to see if they play Rogue Mage, because they didn't try it yet into Cloud9, but ABC able to take this one game. Now, Sid, of course, for ABC, I think the pickings are quite slim here.
That's why Alec's celebration might have not been completely there, because he knows that if he blind locks the Rogue Mage, it's Demon Hunter Death Knight. And if we recall from the spring season, I believe that Method Black had something like a 16-0 win rate in that matchup against Change My Mind. So it's not a composition that you can confidently lock in blind. I almost anticipate that they have to go with something like Elemental Rogue and just hope that it can beat Demon Hunter Death Knight should Method Black decide to pull that out.
It's so funny how Alec is just steps ahead of all of us. Like, we're like, yes, they won, it's exciting, the game's getting closer. He's already seeing the mana rifts before him if he locks in the Rogue Mage Druid. What? The Rogue Mage Druid is locked in, and Method Black are going for the Destruction Mage, which I think it tells us one of two things here, Elliot. Either they really feel like they messed up their game and they should win this matchup, or that they are really estimating they need the information against Cloud9.
I don't know. I feel like this is a mistake from Method Black. This is a matchup I think they should win, but ABC, they kind of dominated them in the last game, where as if they had gone with the DK Demon Hunter, that is a very solid pick. They basically never lose that matchup. So I don't know. This could be maybe tilt factor for Method Black. They could just be messing up their picks. Could end up costing them game number 4.
Overconfidence, maybe?
Or they want more practice.
Is that
for the mirror against Cloud9?
Is that
I mean, it is, yeah. It technically is. They could throw away the series if they overcommit to this strategy, but I mean, they're trying to think for the long game. What are their best shots against Cloud9 should they make it? But ABC did find victory on Hook Point. However, Tolvaron is a completely different beast.
Yep, and we want to know what you guys think. Hashtag overconfident. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to actually do that. ABC versus Method Black. It's still match point for Method Black. ABC, though, looking to perform potentially the most amazing reverse sweep we'll have ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, Method Black, we really haven't seen them play much Demon Hunter Death Knight in this tournament, so maybe they're out of practice a little bit, and they just want to go with what they're warmed up on. This composition, the Mage, Warlock, Restoration Druid, a lot of crowd control, a lot of burst damage potential. But ABC in that last game, they kind of exploited Swapsy a lot, put a lot of crowd control on him, eventually took him down. We'll have to see if they're able to do the same thing in game number 4.
Crowd control on 3 members of Method Black. ABC's initial attack looks solid in terms of control, but there's just absolutely no damage. Swapsy is comfortably sitting at maximum health. No real momentum swung off the start of this match for ABC, which is unfortunate as the crowd control was secured so effectively. Now that opens up Raikou and Swapsy to begin counterattacking. Nixie appears to be the target, and we have seen these rogues exposed in center field quite frequently as Chaz jumps into the fray, adding a stun for his team and a bit of extra damage, but it does appear to be the case that Asgarath is more than ready.
Yeah, Asgarath seems to be prepared so far. Swapsy into a full kidney shot. Do they have any damage? Doesn't look like it so far. We'll have to see if they're able to push in and get the crowd control that they need onto Chaz. In terms of mana right now, ABC actually has a little bit of a lead. Alec has been spamming out that spell steal with the Kleptomania. It's really effective, forcing Chaz to use that overgrowth very often, like we kind of talked about earlier. It's a very expensive heal to put up all your heal over time effects. Nixie going for a full sap onto Chaz. I'm not sure if that was actually out of a blind or what exactly happened there, but there is some CC on Chaz, unfortunately, for ABC. They weren't able to really capitalize on it.
I think that we need to really emphasize on the intensity of this series, or in the lower bracket final, and if ABC lose this, they'll go home in 3rd. They'll lose out on an opportunity to qualify to BlizzCon, and they'll lose out on an opportunity for $50,000. They had to win 2 more against Method Black. They haven't really been able to throughout the spring season, but here in the finals, they've got 1 more opportunity, and they cannot afford to miss it. They managed to pull off at least 1 victory here on Hook Point, but on Tolvaron and the open field advantage to the Mage Warlock, I'm not sure if they can overcome that disadvantage. Alec is already low on health, and any mistake, they're going home.
Yeah, I mean, it is do or die for ABC at this point. Method Black, of course, they want to win game number 3 so they can have their rematch against Cloud9 in the finals and try to earn their spot for BlizzCon. There is so much on the line for all of the teams left in this tournament. Not only is there a lot of prize money, but of course that spot to BlizzCon. It would be such a relief for all of these players if they could guarantee their spot to BlizzCon so early on. The pressure would be off in the summer season, but only one team can win. One of these teams wants to meet Cloud9 in the grand final. Swapsy finding a Chaos Bolt. Good pressure here onto Alec. But the kidney shot shuts down a lot of that follow-up damage. Asgarath's mana is doing really well so far in this game. He's been able to sneak away from multiple drinks. Unfortunately for Method Black, they haven't really been able to deny it. Alec caught in midfield. A little bit of damage coming in from Raikou, but looks like Alec should be fine. Chaz does manage to find the bash onto Asgarath into a full cyclone. Nice crowd control here from Method Black. Alec forced into an ice block. That might have been a little bit preemptive.
I mean, he's just trying to anticipate, I believe, but still, it is early, and now Nixie gets switched to by Method Black. 2 of the members of ABC low on health, and Asgarath will have to expend quite a lot of mana to deal with that. Mana likely to be the name of the game. In the meantime, Nixie's trying to hard carry the team. Drops the smoke bomb. Line of sighting Chaz from healing Swapsy, opening up Alec to secure crowd control. However, was preempted by Iron Bark, which is now reducing damage on Swapsy. Chaz predicting the moves of his opponent perfectly, denying opening time and time again.
Yeah, definitely. This is Alec's Icy Vein. He wants to get very aggressive onto Swapsy, but Unfortunately, not able to right now. The Cyclone comes in. Will Alec be able to sneak in any more crowd control onto Chaz? Doesn't look like it. Chaz is in cap form right now. Moving in, connecting some heals onto Swapsies. Those Iron Bark. Nascarath actually moving in. He's looking to get a bash Cyclone potentially onto Chaz. Chaz, the beautiful re-stealth, denies that crowd control from ABC and does manage to keep Swapsy alive for now. Chaz trinkets out of the blind into a bash. No follow-up from Alec. It's beautiful Mortal Coil from Swapsy. Will deny that. Now Alec gets cycloned up. That was a maledict from Raikou. A bit of a blunder there for Method Black. It could have been big pressure, but Alec is still being in a lot of trouble. He's caught into a full bash. He doesn't have a trinket. This could be his Ice Block. He's holding on to his Cold Snap. We've seen Alec make this mistake before. If it comes down to a point where his third Ice Block has a few seconds left on that cooldown when he goes down, it's going to be because of this.
All right, let's see if this mistake ends up costing ABC not only this game, but the entire tournament. They'll go home in third place. Method Black, they want that rematch. They want it bad here to face Cloud9 in the grand finals of the 2019 Arena World Championship Spring Finals. Nixie, he's in trouble. He's out in midfield, and he's far too deep into the deep end of the pool. He's going to have to trade Cloak of Shadows just to stay alive. Swapsy now gating back to the pillar. Nixie trying to reconnect, but he's overextending. I'm not sure if he can spend this much time in the face. Raikou, anyway, is just polymorphing him, trying to at least just stall the game. I mean, it's a safe strategy. Deny Nixie's Vendetta as much as possible, allow Chaz more room to breathe, and then secure a kill later on. So Method Black are definitely playing to that late game advantage the composition they're playing brings here in game number 4.
There's been a lot of pressure generated by Raikou and Chaz in this matchup onto Alec, but every time they get the damage rolling, Swapsy's just caught into a kidney shot, and that is the control of the Assassination Rogue against the Warlock. And one of the reasons ABC's been doing a really good job, Swapsy just can't find the follow-up damage, force Alec into those Ice Blocks. Ice Block finally almost rotating back up for Alec. If he can greet it and hold onto that Cold Snap, it will be a miracle. If Method Black can somehow force him in the next minute to use that Cold Snap, it will be a disaster for ABC. 7% dampening at this point in the game. Swapsy into a kidney shot. Alec playing very defensive, still getting some decent pressure out onto Swapsy at this point, but Chaz not in any crowd control, and it's just been raw damage sort of carrying ABC at this point on Swapsy. They're avoiding damage at all costs, not really overextending, going for crowd control. Now Asgarath looking to move in, looking to find a bash. In terms of mana, these Restoration Druids are actually very even.
All right, it's an even fight here between ABC and Method Black. Ken Alec, the 2017 BlizzCon champion, managed to carry the team deeper into dampening, secure crowd control, and damage for a kill. Well, it's actually Nixie that's in a bit of trouble here. He's on the run, ducking around the corner, avoiding the damage of his opponents. Chaz, on the other hand, is sitting down, not able to actually regenerate too much mana there with the drink, and Nixie will stop him from continuing. Looking like he may want to attack Chaz. Chaz is going to reposition with the Demonic Gateway across center field, and now Nixie has to run out in midfield. He is going to take a lot of crowd control and damage as a result. Swapsy setting up with Fears to free cast Chaos Bolt, actually switching to Alec, and they could cost the Cold Snap here. Alec has managed to at least survive to that second Ice Block. That mistake made earlier is now not going to matter at all. Fortunate for him, but dampening continues to mount higher and higher, and still Swapsy in a bit of trouble. Smoke Bomb, Ursul's Vortex denies Chaz from getting inside. That was so well done here from Asgarath. Now a polymorph out of a bash. Things are starting to unravel for Method Black.
Yeah, and this is the mistake that could cost them this game and potentially this series. Swapsy's still really low. Chaz tries to connect the Iron Bark, but Swapsy could easily fall.
What?
ABC trying to take him down. How is Swapsy alive?
I can't believe it.
This is a complete throw in game number 4 by Method Black. Kudos to ABC. Calm, cool, and collected clinical play, and they end up taking game 4, tying up the series.
What? How is this happening? Method Black, every single team has been struggling against the Magelock Druid from Cloud9. And now ABC is like, well, I guess we'll try the Rogue Mage again. 2-0, tying up the series to 2-2 in total. I mean, either ABC are on fire now and they're just a completely different beast since the team that met Cloud9, or Method Black is way worse at this composition, Zico.
Well, I think maybe it's a bit of both. Honestly, Asgarath has just been playing so great this entire tournament, and you know, Alec as well. The Mage Druid synergy from these guys has just been insane. Swapsy reacting nicely here to the Smoke Bomb, unending resolve, but they do land a nice sheep here onto Chaz from that bash, and they also get that Cyclone as a follow-up, and then Chaz does get the Iron Bark, but it's not going to be enough. Swapsy, no way he can actually get away from this situation. And honestly, when you look at Swapsy's character right there, he has a better transmog than Chanimal, but he's not playing this.
Chanimal,
he's playing worse talents than Chanimal.
Chanimal has the Santa hat, and that's the Christmas miracle. That's how he stays alive.
That's true, but I don't know if you've seen his cloak. Chanimal's cloak.
Yeah, his cloak's pretty bad.
It's that cloak. I would put that on hide.
I want to get.
However, I would put that demonic circle in the game as soon as possible, because that's what we were crediting them for when they played earlier today. We said the demonic circle was so key for them. It allowed Chanimal to get away. It allowed Chanimal to get out Chaos Bolts and put out pressure. And Swapsy, he didn't have that same mobility. He was just kind of stuck in the middle. Nixie having so much uptime, and it really is tough for a Warlock. If you are being pressured, you're not going to get out those Chaos Bolts, and your composition is just going to fall apart because you're no longer using those Frostmate snares to actually move around.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I do want to throw you one more question, Zico, because you've been obviously knowing the European players for such a long time. How happy are you to see Askaraf reunited with ABC, you know, the healer that actually won them BlizzCon?
I mean, I think it's fantastic for them. They've just been looking like they are on a tear in this tournament, and maybe they can bring this out against Cloud9 and take some wins as well. They're certainly making a good case for themselves, winning on the largest map in the pool. But I also have to say, I think there is a significant difference when you have triple main playing this composition and you have someone who has to flex a little bit, especially when that someone is, you know, someone who plays the Warlock.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, they still have to beat Method Black, right? It's Method Black's comp pick and map pick. And I feel like Method Black, I hope they realize what a mistake they made, because Game 4 was a disaster for them.
Yeah, maybe a mistake if they end up losing the series. Maybe a good thing if they find out that Rogue Mage is good into Cloud9. We'll have to see what happens in Game 5 of the lower finals after this. Think back to the spring finals of 2018, Reformed. They lose the first game, they go for a tear of North American teams, and they win EU number 4 seed. Now in 2019, ABC are one game away from defeating Method Black, completing the reverse sweep, and meeting Cloud9 in the finals.
Why would you not Demon Hunter Death Knight?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. I feel like they're just not confident at this point. Maybe they're not well rehearsed. Maybe it's a little bit of arrogance. Maybe they feel like they should be winning on this Mage, Warlock, Restoration Druid, and that could be the case. But so far, ABC has made it very difficult for them so far, and it's looking like ABC could get the reverse sweep in this series.
ABC might be getting into the heads of Method Black as they put them on their final test. Game 5, lower bracket final. Winner advances for a match against Cloud9 for a chance at BlizzCon, for a chance in a spot at the World Finals. That opportunity all rests on this last 5th and final game.
Yep, and we'll have to see what they can get done. Stun on the Nixie. What is Method Black going to do? They've been trying to find burst damage onto Alec and take him down. They did manage to do so in game number 1. Already, Alec, he's just trading out his Ice Block. He doesn't care. That's the Infernals. That's the Icy Veins. Trade out an Ice Block. Why not? Avoid some damage. Looks like he's going to be doing that. Now Icy Veins gets traded out for Alec. He's looking to reverse the pressure of his own onto Swapsy. Nixie a little bit low. Finds the kitty shot onto Swapsy. Do they have the crowd control for Chaz? If they can get crowd control on Chaz, things could be good, but Raku's been doing a really good job finding big offense, forcing the Ice Block from Alec, and also making Nixie play a little bit defensive so far.
All right, let's see what they can get done here. Mana even between these two teams. Cold Snap from Alec, though. Down one Ice Block already. And that might cause him to play overly cautious. And I'm not sure if they can afford to play cautiously. They're going to have to take risks to take down such a durable composition, that being the Mage and Destruction Warlock with so much crowd control and so much durability. It is a difficult composition to overcome. And Cloud9 playing it perfectly, really, in this tournament has seemed to force the teams to find an answer. And really, Method Black, the only answer that they've come up with so far was that double Shaman Rogue, but they weren't able to take the whole series, and now potentially preparing to mirror if they can win, but that's if they can win, and I'm not entirely sold that they can still.
Yeah, look at Chaz's mana. It's doing really bad. It's already 40%. We are not even close to dampening at this point. Azeroth's been managing his mana quite well in this matchup so far. Swapsy's been under quite a bit of pressure. Now into a kidney shot once again. Frozen Orb gets dropped out. Raikou looking to reverse the pressure with an Ebon Bolt. Who's it going to be on? Alec gets topped off. Polymorph spam coming in from Raikou as well, but Azeroth with that Cyclone slows down a lot of the incoming healing, denies the Iron Bark from Chaz, and Chaz has just not found a moment to breathe in this matchup, and that's why his mana is just falling so far behind.
Yep, Chaz is struggling, and he's getting thirsty. Is he going to find an oasis here to drink, regenerate, and get his team back into the battle, because he absolutely needs to. Asgrass sees Chaz looking for that opportunity and moves over and at least stops him from drinking. ABC have built a significant advantage in that regard, but Nixie is getting owned in midfield by Swapsy. A lot of Chaos Bolt. Swapsy gates, but he gates into crowd control. All three members locked down simultaneously by that of Alec.
Yeah, and right now Chaz has been able to regenerate a bit of mana as he has been crowd controlled for so long. I guess that's one of the benefits of not being able to spend your mana. Kidney shot now onto Swapsy. Nixie and Alex still trying to find some damage. Raikou looking for polymorphs onto Alex, trying to deny. Re-stealth here from Chaz. Manages to find the rake stun onto Nixie, denying just a little bit of damage, but still Swapsy's falling further and further behind. This is a lot of pressure coming in from ABC, and we have not even stepped foot into dampening yet.
I mean, the Druids are almost out of mana, and we're not even dampening yet. This is quite remarkable. Game 5, lower bracket final. Loser goes home. Winner has a second chance at the grand finals. Second chance at a BlizzCon spot at the World Finals and a shot of $50,000. So I can't help but feel that Method Black threw this series away. I mean, their win rate against Rogue Mage Druid as Demon Hunter Death Knight had to have been 100%. It had to have been 100% throughout the entire spring season. They knew that Rogue Mage Druid was coming at them. Why would you not lock in the composition that you have a 100% win rate? Why would you go with the Mage Warlock Druid that, sure, maybe it should win on paper, but you have no experience with the composition? I don't understand why you wouldn't go with the safe pick when so much is on the line.
I mean, Method Black have to know what is on the line in this tournament, and they feel like this is their best bet, I suppose. But ABC has made it very difficult for them. You can see Nixie has Vendetta rolling up, Alec with the Vendetta as well, or sorry, with the Icy Veins. So ABC is ready with all their offensive cooldowns to get aggressive. Swapsy getting low. Chaz moves forward, gets the bash onto Nixie. Chaos Bolt on Nixie. Askerath denies with the Iron Bark. That easily is enough to keep Nixie alive. And if you look at Nixie, he's still got his Vanish, Vendetta, basically every single offensive and defensive cooldown ready to go. And that is a great position for ABC to be in, as Method Black, Chaz, they are almost completely tapped on mana.
I mean, what are they going to do? I see a Fell Hunter chasing Asgarath. Chaz hasn't been able to drink because Asgarath is chasing him. Dampening has now stepped in, and the Druids are almost out of mana. Still an Ice Block lead, though, for Method Black, where Swapsy can rely on that unending resolve. Swapsy also with Infernals available, waiting to see when he decides to activate those as they increase the Destruction's Warlock's damage so immensely and could secure a kill for his team and secure a spot for his team in the finals in a rematch against Cloud9. Can they do it? Vendetta is now rolling for Nixie. Icy Veins for Alec. This means that their damage is increased massively. What can they get done with it? They desperately need to get a kill with it if they want to find victory, if they want to have a shot at the world final spot themselves. Chaz is crowd controlled, extended period of time. Swapsy looks to counter-engage with the Infernals, looking to scare his opponents away during their push, but they are unrelenting. Smoke bomb attempt once again by Nixie. This is how they have found victory against Method Black so far in the series, and potentially find victory here and now. Cyclone stops healing on Swapsy. His health effectively paused. Nixie continues crowd control on Chaz. Polymorph now follows up. If he trinkets, he could be punished. Chaz is trying to sit through it. Swapsy looks comfortable to allow it to happen. How much more crowd control do they have for Chaz? Do they have the Cyclone? Askerath lines it up, and they nail it. Swapsy gates to center field. Alec is dipping low at the same time, though, and we're getting into dampening. Ice block force from Alec. Swapsy holds out.
Yeah, he gets topped off. Now it's Swapsy that is in trouble. Not really many cooldowns, there's no unending resolve, but Alec forced into that second Ice Block of the game. Raikou with the Icy Veins getting aggressive. That was the Infernals as well. ABC has sort of weathered the storm. Chaz moving in, gets the Rake Stun onto Asgarath into a diminishing return Cyclone. They're looking to go after Nixie, who's caught into a bash. Asgarath deflects that attack with the Iron Bark, and now ABC needs to get aggressive in this situation. That was all the offense coming in from Method Black. Now as Rogue Mage Druid, they need to start getting crowd control of their own, keep up the pressure on Swapsy. Both Chaz and Asgarath seem to be at 10% mana for the last couple of minutes.
I'm kind of calling this ahead of time, but I think said icon with a minute and 40 seconds below Nixie's health, that's Smoke Bomb. That's where they found the kill on Swapsy almost every time. If they can survive to that Smoke Bomb, I think that they kill Swapsy that deep into dampening, so they need to survive another minute and 30 seconds. Can ABC survive that long? Maybe they can just overwhelm them with damage before that point. I cannot believe that this was a throwaway if Method Black lose. They still had a Demon Hunter Death Knight comp they could have locked in, and they're really trying to hold this together, but ABC, they've stepped up to the plate here today in the tournament, battling it out. A grueling lower bracket and potentially going all the way to the finals here to face Cloud9. Chaz sits through a polymorph, another one. Can they get another one? Askerath jumps over but gets caught. Raikou catches Askerath. Fortunately, the polymorph ending a bit early. Swapsy's still in trouble. Ironbark, it has to be enough. Chaz has to trinket. He gets bashed on the trinket. Ironbark may not be enough here to survive at 19% dampening. Alec has stabilized. Swapsy starting to stabilize 40 seconds away from that smoke bomb of Nixie. I actually am starting to think that ABC are going to take it.
I think they definitely could, but that was the Vendetta as well as the Maledict push from ABC at 20% dampening. Swapsy now into a kidney shot. Big burst damage coming in from Alec as they look to close out this game. Chaz has no mana left whatsoever. How is he going to keep Swapsy alive? Alec with Icy Veins, if he can get a Kleptomania spell steal with his Icy Veins, it's just going to be too much pressure for Method Black to really deal with. There is so much on the line for both of these teams. They're looking to make a move, get to the grand final, battle it out against Cloud9, but this could be a complete throwaway from Method Black.
Polymorph Chaz gets caught. Big mistake by Chaz. Big mistake, and it could cost them an opportunity to go to BlizzCon. Swapsy tries to counter-aggress, though, amidst it, and pulls the final ice block of Alec. This is coming down to the absolute last second. Are Method Black going home in third? It's looking like it's going to happen. It's looking like it's going to happen. Cyclone at low health, denying the Ironbark. Smoke bomb is available. Where's the kidney shot? Where is it? They don't even need it. ABC, they can't even believe it. Look at Nixie's face after that, but ABC, they're going to the finals to face Cloud9.
I can't believe it. They can't believe it. You can't believe it. Method Black can't believe it. 2017 BlizzCon champions. No one believed it then. ABC. Easy as RMD, apparently, Zico.
Oh, that was good. I like that.
That was good. Very, very nice game here again from ABC. It's nice to see the mid-game adaptations. Things like when Alec gets targeted by big cooldowns, he immediately just trades out his cooldowns, his ice block very early on, trying to save the mana. And that's the name of the game for these guys. They're playing for the longevity. They're playing for that mana lead. And honestly, this is going to be a little bit of false confidence as well, maybe, for ABC, because all of a sudden, if they pick RMD into Cloud9's Mage Lock Druid, they're going to go against Chanimal, who's going to be playing that Demonic Circle more often than not, I would imagine, because Swapsy, again, I said in the previous game, he didn't actually get away from Nixie, and he kept getting caught with these low Cyclones. Askerath doing such a phenomenal job keeping him low, and that's really what keeps setting ABC up for these wins. And I mean, here at the end as well, Chaz, he gets caught up in the polymorph. He doesn't have much mana to work with, you know. Swapsy, he got Klepted there, so he didn't have any hots on Swapsy, and Alec had his Icy Veins up. It's a pretty tough polymorph to avoid here for Chaz. I can't fault him too much for that happening, but still, at this situation, when we saw Cloud9 playing this composition, they had the mana lead. Not going to be the case for Method Black, and again, Askerath setting his team up with the low Cyclone there to deny the defense of that Ironbark from Chaz. It's going to get ABC all the way to the grand finals. And look at these guys. I mean, no one can believe it.
Oh, Nixie can't believe it. It looks like Alec and Askerath.
Dude, we need to get me Alec on this desk right now. I swear, I've got so many questions for this man. Like, how do you even hold your nerve in that situation? 2-0 now. We've got Alec with Aya. Alec, what's going on?
Hey guys, I'm here with Alec. Now, you know, you gave me some parting words last time we spoke. Did you guys really not expect to win that one?
No, we didn't. But when we were 2-0 down, we were like, fuck it, let's go out with our main comp. And then they started choking really hard. And then we were like, damn, we're just better than them, and we can like fake all their interrupts and just play the game. It was really easy at that point.
Now, we've seen some excellent mage play from you this weekend. Where do you rank yourself among some of the best mages in the world?
I think I'm peaking right now, so I'm really happy about my gameplay. I faked a lot of CSs that game, pumped really hard. I have lots of respect for Wealthy Man. I saw some VODs. He has like insane positioning. So yeah, I see us like at the top. I'm not going to say order or anything. Raiku's up there too. Mara's insane too. There are many good mages, but up there.
Okay, now for the first match of the day, yesterday we saw you guys lose against Cloud9 and you guys are up against them in the grand finals. What are you going to change going into the next match?
Just big balls.
All right, you heard it here. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Whew, I'm so happy we got to hear from Alec. I love hearing from him every single time, and you could feel like he was hearing his heart on his sleeve there. The emotion is still very vivid, and I mean, that was confidence. It's just like, well, Method Black were choking. We're better than them. Will Cloud9 choke, Zico?
I find it hard to believe that Cloud9 is going to choke. They've been kind of sitting now, watching all these games, taking the information in of what's been played in terms of comps and strategies. So I think Cloud9, they're going to be feeling pretty confident. But still, ABC, you know, they just got off 2 hot wins, and they might be able to ride that momentum all the way. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Alec went... he said it all in his interview. I don't need to repeat what he was saying. I probably can't repeat what he was saying either. Let's have a little look over at the bracket. An unbelievable tale, a Reform 2.0, if you will. First game at the start of Saturday. First game at the start of yesterday. 3-0 Cloud9. I mean, no one is surprised by that, right?
Who would have thought the first game of this tournament would also be the last game of this tournament? But we kind of talked about ABC. They thrive in that lower bracket. They were sent down by Cloud9 early on. They ended up beating Method Orange, beating the boys, beating Change My Mind, and then beating Method Black. They've taken down some juggernauts in this tournament, and I feel like they are heating up. Like Alec kind of said, he's peaking right now, and it shows. This team is playing really well. Cloud9, I would have to still give them an edge, but I think they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. And I mean, Method Orange as well, like, they certainly don't have to feel half as bad about getting 3-0 by ABC now that we've seen what this squad truly is capable of. They're peaking, as Alex said. They're back to that kind of 2017 run of form, Sid.
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, it's nice to see them reunited, and now they've got the knowledge from the first time they met Cloud9 that the Elemental Shaman Mage is not going to be that great, and the Rogue Mage is looking solid. I mean, it just took down Method Black. However, I would say that Cloud9 is on a different level playing field with that Mage Warlock composition. We have not seen Swapsy playing that Destruction Warlock nearly as much as Chanimal, at least not to the same degree, but ABC's strategies with the smoke bombs, with the preventing the Restoration Druid from getting inside of its line of sight effects to save the Warlock. The only thing really there that changes is that Chanimal likes to play the Demonic Circle, which he can then use to get out of a smoke bomb. So maybe that even just that one talent difference between Chanimal's playstyle and that of Swapsy's in that last series could be enough for Cloud9 to take this series. They got 3-0'd earlier on the tournament. Can they do it again here in the grand finals? Best of 7, BlizzCon on the line.